Long before roads split the land, and long before stories were written down instead of being remembered in the hearts of people, there was a village. It was hidden away, nestled between a deep, dark forest and a rolling hill. Its name was Kissawa. The people who lived there said Kissawa was protected by tradition. But others, those who whispered in the shadows, said it was trapped by it. Once a year, after the final harvest was gathered, the entire village would prepare for a grand feast. Outsiders hearing of this believed it was a simple celebration of food and family, a time of joy and thanksgiving. They were terribly wrong. 3 nights before the feast, the ground itself would begin to tremble. Drums would echo from deep within the earth, a low, constant rhythm that wasn't meant to entertain. No, these drums were meant to awaken something ancient. On the final day, a silent messenger would move through the village, delivering small carved wooden tokens to certain households. The message was always the same, a set of 3 simple rules. Eat what is given. Speak only when spoken to. And the most important one, when the elders rise, look away. No one ever dared to laugh at these rules. They were as old as the village itself, and just as unforgiving. The feast began as dusk fell, the last rays of sun swallowed by the horizon. The torches that lit the clearing burned low, casting long, dancing shadows. The smoke from the fires curled like spirits, twisting and turning as they climbed into the dark, starless sky. At the head of the long tables sat the elders, their faces carved with the lines of ages, their eyes watching everything, always watching. Then the food was served. Course after course was brought out on heavy wooden platters. The air was thick with the smell of roasted meats and strange exotic spices, but a heavy silence hung over the gathering. No one spoke. The only sounds were the scrape of utensils on plates and the quiet chewing of the villagers. A man named Kato, who had only recently moved to Kissawa, found the silence unnerving. He was used to laughter and conversation during meals. He didn't understand the tension that gripped the air. The piece of meat he was served melted in his mouth, rich and tender. But the taste, it was strange. Heavy, unfamiliar. He leaned over to the woman beside him, her face pale in the flickering torchlight. "What animal is this?" he whispered, his curiosity getting the better of him. The woman didn't answer. She just shook her head violently, her eyes wide with a fear he couldn't comprehend. She pressed a finger to her lips, silently pleading with him. But Kato, emboldened by the delicious food and his own ignorance, just smiled. He thought she was being overly dramatic. He raised his voice, this time louder, so that more people could hear him. I said, "What kind of meat is this?" The world stopped. The drums, which had been a constant heartbeat in the background, fell silent instantly. The air grew thick and heavy, pressing down on everyone. A collective gasp was stolen from the villagers' lungs. every eye filled with terror, darted towards the head table. The eldest of the elders, a man so old he looked like he was carved from the ancient forest itself, slowly pushed his chair back and stood. His voice was like the grinding of stones. "Who breaks the silence?" Kaito, still not understanding the gravity of his mistake, stood up as well. He felt a surge of defiance. He wasn't a child to be shushed at the dinner table. "I am," he declared, his voice ringing out in the dead quiet. "I am not afraid of food. Nor am I afraid of asking questions." A slow, chilling smile spread across the elder's wrinkled face. It did not reach his eyes. "That," the elder said, his voice dropping to a low growl, "is precisely why you were invited." As one, all the elders stood together. It was the signal. Immediately, every villager, every man, woman, and child bowed their heads and squeezed their eyes shut. They looked away, just as the rule commanded. The darkness seemed to rush in, swallowing the low flames of the torches until the clearing was plunged into absolute blackness. Then the drums returned. But this time, they weren't distant. They were close. All around, a slow, predatory beat. And over the sound of the drums, another noise began, a wet, tearing sound. The sound of chewing amplified in the night. It was loud, hungry, and it filled the suffocating darkness. But by the time the first light of dawn painted the sky, the feast was over. The clearing was empty. The food was gone. And so was Kaito. The only thing left behind was a single, newly carved wooden token lying in the dirt where he had been sitting. And to this day, when the harvest moon rises full and bright in the sky, the people of Kisawa remember it. They remember the feast, and they remember the price of speaking out of turn, because in Kisawa they know a terrible truth. Silence, once broken, always demands payment. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next descent into the dark. See you next time.